Peace, peace, young E. Digital music art. What's up, good brother? Shalom. Natural Market in the house. Go check her out on Instagram. What's up, good sister? Man, E, I been chilly dogging, man. Slow motion, but show motion. How about y'all? Yeah, I'm still on there. I'm about to, I'm about to get back going for the new year. And I'm glad you asked, because I really need people to on there to kind of tell me some stuff y'all interested in exploring or expounding on. And what I do, I'll do, and what I don't, I'll just say I don't know. But like one of the patrons wants to do a session on how to write a book. And so that's something we're gonna be talking about here coming up very soon. So I want y'all to start giving me more feedback about what you want to delve into. Get my right on, young Eric, because I know you at least got about 10 books in you need to come out. So you want to do some combos on astrology? You can definitely do that. I really want to do stuff live. It's really hard for me to just record stuff and put it up. I don't know why. I like it's like for me to do that, I have to sit and think, what do I know? And let me put something together and share something I know. But it sure is natural when it's just a free flowing conversation. You know, when you actually got interaction, it's like I be telling my mama, oh, decode current events. Oh shit. That's what. That's part of what we have gathered here for today, beloved. But yeah, we can definitely do that. Shit. I be telling my mom and be telling the homeboy Dap, you know, like I be like, I need to be recording these conversations. How to master that. In the 8th house, and you're a Gemini, and I remember your moon is in Taurus. So the ruler of your, I remember where you're a Cancer rising. But I be telling them, like, I got to start recording some of these conversations, because that's where all the, the organic stuff come out, when you're just having a free-flowing conversation versus me putting together this presentation, which I'm still going to do some of that, because I got stuff. I have a major thing about shadow that I need to put out. I've been putting this thing together, and it's really about my family, but I'm using my family as an example, just about how going into the shadow of your lineage, the shadow of your DNA, and looking at traumatic things that have happened, and how that, if we pass it, well, not if, we know we do pass DNA down. So how do we, if we pass, given that we pass our DNA, we also pass traumatic things that have gone on. I mean, we talk about this all the time from a collective standpoint as a people, a race, a nationality, an ethnicity, you talk about, but what about within actual families? Been having some heavy conversations with my mother, about exploring stuff like this. And if the Spirit puts it on your mind, then it must be that part of your duty in this incarnation is to deal with that, So definitely gonna have conversations on that. I don't know the last time I was on here for a live. It's been a minute, a good minute. I'm trying to work on getting back in the groove. Let's see here. Yes, I want to freaking dominate. I want to win hustler. Oh man, she said hustler of the century. Okay. Oh shit, I didn't even put my... Okay, so thank y'all for tuning in. I was like, I wonder if anybody even gonna get on here, because I just pop on here randomly after several months hiatus. I don't do the correct things according to how you're supposed to work your social media, and probably suffer for that. But I want to talk about, you see the title, hit the like button. And I got me a couple of trigger notes so I don't forget some stuff. And so it's interesting. We've been talking about this for a while. You've heard me say this like a broken record. The North Node, North Node, North Node, North Node. Let me just say, I don't know if I've ever really explained. I'm sure I have touched on the North Node. Oh, that's the washing machine. So the North Node is where the orbit of the moon and the sun cross in the north. South node would be the opposite, where their orbits cross. So a node means knot. And so where those orbits cross creates a knot or a bundle of energy. Now, it's not a physical thing, it's just a calculation. But we know now that we've been privy to the outskirts of quantum physics, we've learned now that with microscopes with high enough magnification that the more you magnify matter in, or things that have mass in our reality, you keep magnifying and you see there's nothing there. So we are nothing. Our whole reality is, to a degree, a mathematical equation where things that really don't exist seem to exist. So therefore, it allows us to not dismiss the significance of the nodal axis, even though it's not an actual physical, quote unquote, physical phenomenon. It doesn't negate the fact that it impacts our three-dimensional reality big time. So where that node is where the energy is bundled. And so we look at the sign that the node is in, and we look at the degree that it's at. And that degree, that bundle of energy will affect where other planetary, asteroid, or whatever dwarf planet activity is relative to that degree. The sign will modify the action, okay? Because the sign is the energetic playing field for the nodal point or points wherever they're moving at a particular time. So because the nodes have been moving through Taurus, we have had a lot of Taurian things, you know, on the forefront. Namely resources. You know, Mississippi River, they were talking about months ago, was so low that barges were getting stuck in it, which means supplies were a halt to supplies. We've had crazy weather patterns, volcanoes, earthquakes, because the planet that deals with eruptions, Uranus, is in the sign of Taurus, along with the North Node. We've had all types of issues with money. Things keep going up. I mean, the prices keep going up and up and up. And we all are somewhat passing the stress on to each other because, you know, especially if you're in business. I went to my barber the other day, took my son. It's like, it's $5 more for a haircut. You know, and I'm like, well, I mean, I know price of stuff going up, but I mean, are you also making sure you're giving $5 more of just to soften the blow, you know? But I mean, I know it is what it is. But we see this stuff acting out. We see Taurus is security, and its opposite is Scorpio. They're both about security because they're fixed signs. So we see, if we're completely honest, there's a pressure that causes a decreased sense of security, you know, because our earthly reality is undergone a lot of turmoil. And to the degree of people's awareness, it is affecting them in different ways. Some people are just going through pure mania. I saw people fighting at Sam's before Christmas, fighting in the parking lot. I mean, just, you know, people driving crazy. Like, and this is all supposedly, I mean, we know it's primarily that is based on capitalism. You know, there's nothing really, unless you are looking at the solstice and the fact that the sun is rising back up out of his grave. But we know the religious thing is that's there ain't no legitimacy about, nothing historical about that. It's a mythological thing. But so the average person, it is a purely capitalistic celebration. And it's amazing that with all of the cheer and the season's greetings and the carols and, you know, all of those things, that there, you want to see the most hatred expressed, it's going to be starting on Black Friday and on through Christmas and into New Year's, you know. So yeah, saw people out there, you know, scrapping and, you know, taking the shirt off, and it's just amazing. We see desperation has become really on the forefront, and that's kind of the theme behind. Oh man, the thing about the deaths, Eric said a lot of deaths. I mean, look, when we were coming up, or just not just until recently, not even when we're coming up, until recently, you may have somebody you know who pass away or make the transition, and it'd be like shocking, you know, like, oh, you heard such and such pass, and oh man, you know. Now it is several people around you, and I'm going to do a video on this on my other channel, my astrology channel, about when astrology becomes so real that you wish it wasn't real. You know, in my house of friendship, I have the planet Pluto, and Pluto is about death and transformation. But sometimes it can be very literal. Sometimes it's, you know, sometimes the astrology is not metaphorical, it is literal. So I had a brother I just met last year. Our children go to the same school. He and his wife had just moved over towards this side of town, or closer to this side of town, from way out in Allen. And so they could send his son to this school. I just met this brother. Brother was 43 years old. And found out that I had just talked to him a few days before. And come to find out, this brother died suddenly back in December. You know, I mean, it's dude I went to school with, 45 years old, healthy, as far as we know. I mean, he had a healthy lifestyle of, you know, and find out he went bike riding one day. He's in Arizona, and suddenly slumped over at his car and was gone. Now, I'm not going to speculate, but we do know what has been going on in the world from a health standpoint. And we do know that what some of the conversations have been, that what was going to happen. How some people were going to be suddenly checking out. Now, I don't know if my homeboy, I don't know if that was the case, so I'm not going to speculate. I don't even know about the guy I went to school with, but it's a lot of strange things going on. Also aligning with the nose, because the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. Scorpio, to a degree, is death. You know, Scorpio is the natural sign on the 8th house. And so Scorpio can literally mean death, or it can mean a metaphorical death. Metaphorically, Scorpio deals with the death of your ego, because the ego is the first house in your chart. And the 8th house forms what's called a quincunx to the first house. And a quincunx is 150 degrees away from basically that house. And so there's this concept with the quincunx of something not seeing eye to eye. And so the ego does not see the transformation that it must make. Because the ego has the impetus to go forward and to survive. But the 8th house has a bigger plan in mind. The 8th house is about transformation, because we know death is the catalyst to ultimate transformation. And what's interesting about, and I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but what's interesting about the word Scorpio, the etymology of the word Scorpio, we associate it with death, but Scorpio, the word literally means live. That's what Scorpio really means, live. So it's several things to take out of this. That there's been a lot of death. You know, there's been a lot of angst around feelings of lack. Scorpio can also be feelings of lack, because those are debts. It's a karmic sign. It's debts that have to be paid. And you know, we think about debt, we think about what I don't have, or what I stand to lose, or you got all these things in the mix. Then you also have to factor in, why am I still here? And how do I see my continued transformation through the witnessing of so many people transitioning from this earth, or transitioning out of this dimension? Why am I still here, and how does my transformation continue? You know, that's that old Sufi saying, if you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die. What is it I need to be allowing to let go of? You know, and we've talked about this several times. But this is such a dynamic time. There's so much going on. And you know, the concept of hit the like button. You know, MJ, peace, good sister. It's been a minute. Hope all well with you and the family. You know, you have a lot of people who put out a lot of great information, you know, on the internet. And people are not just going to come out and say it, but people are feeling the squeeze. They're feeling the squeeze because a squeeze is being put on. And you're seeing people become more aggressive about, hit the like button. Now, some of these people are people who present information that goes against the status quo. It goes against the status quo. But at the same time, they're trying to work the system, which we all are. I mean, let's not front. We all are tied into this beast some kind of way, because I mean, if you paying rent, if you paying a car note, if you paying, I mean, you're tied into the beast. If you working, you know, it's very few who just, I'm completely off the grid and, you know, this and that. And some of these people who boast about being off the grid, some of these people are trust fund babies. You know, they done had money left to them, and now it's a novelty to live this grunge life. And oh yeah, you know, I listened to this one guy. He's like, how I traveled to India, and I was finding myself. I went to South America. I did ayahuasca, and I'm like, the average person ain't got the privilege to go around and find theyself like this. You know what I'm saying? They in the trenches. But we're tied into this beast, okay? But some of this, we have to ask ourselves, we've worked so long opposing things that we know are not right, if I just say that we're gonna have to start accepting the fact that things are crumbling. And I don't mean throw in the towel and just, you know, sit around and chant and play drums and wait on the end to get here. But I think, and it's not to be dystopian or pessimistic, but what I'm saying is we may have to temper the way we see all of this, and to understand that how can I say this? I'm gonna say it this way. It's a thin line. It's a very thin line, you know, because you still got to think magical. But then you have to also temper your idea of what magic is. You know, I talk about manifestation. You know, I actively engage in certain things towards that avenue. I've seen it. I believe in it. I know it. But here's the trick. We live in three-dimensional reality, and we see time linear. And so we may create an energy and put something in motion, but because time really doesn't exist the way we live in it, things could be moving on a grand clock, the cyclical clock, the clock of circles. But we're looking at things linearly, and it seems like things ain't working. And then it causes a domino effect, because now I'm questioning what I'm doing. I'm questioning my proficiency. I'm questioning a lot of things. Then it feeds the desperation. At the same time, you got this machine that's putting pressure on you. We may have to come to grips with the fact that what we have put in motion, you may not see it in this life. You study the Asians, World War II, the devastation and the internment camps for the Asians they brought over here. Japan leveled down to rubble. My cousin fought in Desert Storm, and he said when they were overseas, he said the Asian, this I don't know what particular nationality, but he was Far East Asian, just came up to him out of nowhere and said, you know y'all's problem? You don't think long term. Everything now. You don't think. And I'm thinking, and he was like, damn, what he come up to me, you know, just So it's interesting because that means those people, because we know by the 70s, that's right, cosmic, what's that? Cosmic chlorophyll. Yes. We know by the 70s that we had, Nissan used to be called Datsun. You had the Datsun, you had Toyota. I think they were already building the Kawasaki engines. So here's the people who was crumbled. But what's that? A generation later, there's a major supplier. But they don't seem like they're really doing much yet. They just sell just some Asian cars. But now, look at now. So that means somebody who's already gone had a vision back then for now. And we're gonna have to start thinking along those lines about what is real husbandry. What is it to be a farmer? To plant seeds, and cultivate them with the knowing that something's gonna grow. That's the farmer is the ultimate magician, the manifester. You plant the seeds, and you know this is eventually gonna be a tree. This is eventually gonna be some food. Digital Music Art said, yeah, the Japanese were major in the music industry too, which providing equipment. A lot of the drum machines, come from there. What I'm saying is we're going to have to temper the way we see this reality. Some interesting things. When the person says hit the like button, they're saying to support the algorithm. The interesting thing is that really, in essence, the algorithm, if we're completely honest, is that's the ultimate beast. The algorithm, the pulse, rhythm, pulse. Something is monitoring us and taking our pulse and saying, oh, his heart rate went up to 78 BPMs. Oh, heart rate went down to 70. That means something changed. Oh, heart rate went up to 100. The algorithm. Something is monitoring us. Yeah, we all in it, but we got a choice how much we give into this. You know what I'm saying? NFTs, Bitcoin, AI art. Now just think about this. Common sense. If Bitcoin just came out, how can people already be experts on it and can tell you how you're going to become a millionaire off of it? Now, I ain't the smart, but some stuff to me just common sense. How are you going to give me the whole game plan when it just came out? Charging all this money for these courses and this and that. And it just, now, NFTs. I'm selling you something that ain't even there. And I haven't even taken the time to even do all of because I don't care. I don't care to sit and spend my time doing all this which is the other trap. To give you something to put your time into that previously you would have been on to something else. Like that's the algorithm. The algorithm tells you what you should be concerned with. It tells you, hey, now if I come up to you, we always had the thing, I'm gonna sell you some beachfront property in Idaho, sell water to a well and da 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 da. It's the equivalent. We've been saying this stuff all these years. We would laugh if somebody came and said, hey, look, I'm gonna sell you something that ain't even there. But the algorithm convinces us, yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah. Then you have somebody, some hipster comes out with some super tight pants on and a little Hitler haircut and tells you with some little glasses, yeah, it's trending, and I've got these 7 Lamborghinis by creating NFTs, and I'm gonna have a free course on how you too can do this, and just click the link here, and then we get it, and then we say, okay, I'm one of the first ones to take this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run the same pyramid scheme on my folk, on my group. And I'm gonna tell them I'm giving them the up because they're gonna be ahead of the. So like, oh man, it's crazy to me, And if you say this stuff when all this stuff first come out, you're a hater. So you have to sit back and watch and let it all fizzle out. Now ain't nobody talking about no NFTs. Now it's the volatility of the Bitcoin market. And I mean, look, I understand. I know it's predictive programming. I know it's coming. Some form of digital, but they rolled it out to make you feel cool with it. To make us accept it. Oh, it ain't that bad. So when it really comes the way it's really gonna come, we've been desensitized and programmed to just be like, hey, it is what it is. The squeeze on resources, North Node and Taurus, the squeeze on resources pushes us more into avenues that we wouldn't go into. And it's this. It forces us into running Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes on each other. Straight up. I've seen so many over the past couple of years, 3 years, just different forms of pyramids. And look, I used to do them things. I used to be into Melaleuca and my sister-in-law did the Mary Kay, and they're all pyramids. And at some point, somebody has to lose. The whole thing is about you're trying to get in and get some suckers in and get them on and tell them, get them some more suckers until and let's try to keep this thing going as far as we can. But it's always built on somebody's got to be at the bottom of the pyramid. And through the pressure that's been put on us, we are finding ourselves, engaging in things that we know we ain't, we done talked against certain things, Hit the like button. Supports the algorithm. They don't even say the L, it'd be the algorithm. Shorts. They got shorts up now, YouTube shorts, competing with TikTok. And I mean, I go on TikTok. I got a TikTok channel, but it's amazing. It's you got a system set up where you can talk for 3 minutes at the most. So what's really going on here? Well, our pleasure center is being overly stimulated. The pleasure center, the hippocampus. And there's a dopamine rush that you get when you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And it's like, and you're looking for something that's going to finally get your attention. Something that's going to finally, oh, okay, here's something. And you might scroll for 30 minutes until you find something that's just like, oh, okay, that gave me a chuckle, you know. I might follow this channel, this and that. So YouTube has the shorts as well. The thing about it, what is really going on here? At the same time, you got all this squeezing going on that I'm talking about. We're under pressure. And I know for me, it's been a lot harder for me to produce content. So I find myself consuming content just while I'm working. Like if I wasn't on here doing this live right now, while I'm washing dishes, I might put on some video on YouTube or whatever. But then I'm gonna have to stand here for a good 5 minutes and scroll to find something. It's like, oh man, it's another, this dude talking about this. Here's another prison story. Here's another story about when we was rapping and we had $8 billion and 16 women. Where can I find me something just to hold, you know what I'm saying? So we find ourselves just trying to maybe get a little escape from the present reality, and you got this here for us. But what this thing is really some tentacles that is tapping in to our hippocampus, pineal gland, and all these other mechanisms in this area, and it's sucking energy. It's sucking energy. It's just like when the debit card came out. When you spending cash, you typically gonna spend less money because you're gonna see your cash going down in your pocket. But a debit card, $3 here, $5 there, $10 here. Next thing you know, you done spend $100 because it's nickel and diming. So they've created a way to nickel and dime our energy through short content. Bloop, 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 bloop. I saw that. Oh, what's next? Bloop. You know, complete transparency. Do you know my ass sometimes will be on searching for a brain high. That's a good one. That's a good one. Searching for a brain high. That's a damn good one. Transparency. Sometimes I'll be listening to a video on YouTube or watching something because look, even the updates with the technology is part of this. You can now, it used to be you had to have a YouTube paid account to have your YouTube page stay open while you close it and then go into something else. Now you can shrink your YouTube page, and I can go over to Instagram, and I can be scrolling Instagram while I still got a YouTube video playing. I'm a member of Serious Times Patreon. I might have a Bobby Hemmett video on and shrink it down and go over and check my emails while it's talking like. So I ain't fronting like I'm just up on. I'm analyzing me too. Like this shit's crazy. You know, I had to catch myself and pull back. You know, I had to catch myself and be like, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, put that motherfucker down. You know, thankfully, I'm naturally predisposed to picking up a book, you know, because the books is really like, they're like counter-insurgency weapons right now. Because, you know, you can pull off of that digital and ground yourself in this because it's just a different mechanism of the brain. It's long form. You got to concentrate, and you got and this is a good time to be an active reader. Take your a highlighter out. Just don't read to try to read through a book because you ain't gonna remember none of that. But a highlighter and oh, this is important. Write a note down, and you see a word you don't know, go and Google that word, and just something, because really what's going on, we in a war. We're in a war, and you in the war is for our minds, and the mind as a gateway to the soul, which you all know this, but we lose sight of this at times, and so you try to do things to counter that. I get done at the gym working out, take them earbuds out my ear, and because I got in the habit, I get out the gym, music blasting. I turn the music off. Then I'm like, okay, let me find me a YouTube video to listen to while I drive home. Silence. Nothing in my ear, nothing on, just the wind, And like little things like this, we got to still remember, because those of us who are old enough, we still remember a world before we even had cell phones. And I'm trying to sit and think, how the hell did I function without a cell phone? Like, that world is starting to fall. Like show the movies when they show the past, the little bridge be burning up, I'm feeling that, like, how did I function in an analog world? Where if you didn't catch me at the house, I got my little answer machine plugged up, leave me a message. Come home, oh, I got 6 messages. Oh, so-and-so called. Hey, what's up? Da, 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 da. Or the payphone. Stop at the payphone. Let me make a call real quick. Those things are gone. Now we're always connected to each other, to the beast. But what's so ironic about this is, although we are so connected, a lot of y'all on here, you just an email away from me. Some of y'all just a phone call away, a text message away. But I don't know your damn number. I can't remember your number to save my life. I still remember my phone number when I was a child, because it was a different world. And so we are so connected, but disconnected at the same time. So we got to keep entertaining analog ways of approaching things, because the algorithm is terraforming us. You got the bag trends. The bag trends is everybody doing this. This is what you need to be hopping on. I got a free class on this. We already know. That's a bunch of flim flam. We ain't even going. Relationships. There's a new guy that popped up. He's like a we got a store down here in the South called K&G. He's like a K&G version of Kevin Samuel. I've seen him on TikTok. He got glasses, and he wear like a little suit that you would get at K&G or S&K Men's Warehouse. Kevin Samuel had the tailor-made suits, and he talked shit to you in a tailor-made suit. Well, this guy got on, like a little Easter suit from K&G. But you see him popping up all of a sudden doing the same type of thing. You got these other cats here and there, this Andrew Tate, these gurus about relationship. And what they really do, including some of the conscious all-stars, Umar Johnson, Rizza Islam. These cats pop up on these different podcasts, and they got these philosophical, deep things to say about relationships and this and that. And I wonder, because I'm married, got children, and maybe these brothers don't. I ain't got the time to be talking every fucking 5 seconds. Excuse my Moorish Latin. Because if you are really living and got a relationship and children, guess what, baby? Your time is taken cultivating that. You really ain't got no time to be constantly talking about what it should be, and and we've got to love our queens, and it's like, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I'm gonna tell you something. The real motherfuckers are in the trenches. They're in the trenches actually doing it. They're not talking about it, because when you're doing it, you don't really have a whole lot of time to put on your suit and this and that, and make sure your hair right, and fix your glasses. And let me tell you something, beloved, your children are like seeds. You should water your seeds, and you must love them divine. Like, let me tell you, this shit is real. National Market said, why are none of them married? And look, I ain't saying it don't mean you got to be married, but here's the thing. You put yourself out here as this voice for how things should be. I'm telling you, it's all a game. Let me tell you what the real game is. The real game is to drive more of a wedge between men and women as a species. As a species, to drive a wedge between men and women, because a relationship is not just about romance and love. It is also about survival on several levels. Soul survival on the highest, and just physical survival on the lowest. Two people in accordance with each other who bring polarity energy together can create something. That's the oldest form of manifestation. And so you have these people who speak to, they do the same shit that the preacher do. It's called preaching to the itching ear. And let me tell you something. The women spend the money. It's always been that way. Every business I've been in, the women have spent more money than men. The women spend more. A woman she has more of an emotional attachment to something that if it's some type of movement she believes in, she gonna get behind it. And so people cater to the women, even to the detriment sometimes to those same supporters. And sometimes the message for the men is to their detriment, because here's the opposite. The opposite message is, the one message is, I'm going to cater to the women. Oh, beloved, divine sister, queen of eternity. Oh, you are the Nile River, and I am just looking to drink some of your divine primordial waters, and all the bullshit just out of some. You want to hear some motherfucker say shit out of some Danielle Steele book, And then you got the other people who are pushing the agenda of, we going our own way. I said Amrita Fluid. Yeah. Your sweet ambrosia, Then you got the men who say, the hell with them women, get your passport. Go. The beast in all of this is generalities. We try to generalize everything. And we try to give this overall truth to everything. The most complex thing you can have is a relationship. First house is me, I. Seventh house is me and somebody else. That a relationship is you already dying. And then the eighth house is, well, both of us have died. And because we have died, we have created something out of our death, which is life, We've created a new life out of the collective death of the both of us. This shit on the internet about trying to pit this one and that one, and I'm gonna play to what you want to hear. I'm gonna play to what you want to hear. It's all cap, as a young would say. It's cap. What's up, Black Butterfly? Just tuning in from Maryland. All right. Hope you're having a good day. So, I'm just saying this, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm just saying, look, you got to separate yourself. Whatever relationship you in, be thinking about making it work. Be thinking about the evolution of yourself. Be thinking about when your ego is taking over. Be thinking about, are you in a relationship because I feel lesser about my, like all them generalities, that shit don't cook. Cause the first business you really have is the business of you and your mate. The seventh house is partnership. It's partnership romantically. It's also a business partnership. Seventh house is also the house of open enemies. Is my mate my open enemy? Analog, all this digital shit, all these pundits and philosophers who got all this, I know everything about this and that, and this is what you should be doing. And these motherfuckers, they be in their house and them cameras be tight as hell. They trying to, that camera be like, they be in that camera like this, because they don't want you to see all the chaos going around their ass. They trying to block it out. They want you right here, because they want you to hear this message. And don't look around. Don't see that I ain't even applying the shit I'm telling you. Everything's staged. Look, listen to me. In March, everything changes. In March, the sister who's on here named MJ, I did a reading for her, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. And she said in her reading, she said, I feel like we have a moment of grace right now. And she said, I think that grace period is from now until maybe 2024. Tell you something. We are now in 2023. Now, I think the sister was not using any astrology. She was intuiting this. Well, the astrology lines up with what she said. Grace period almost up. And we're going to see the acceleration of the transition from the grace into the calamity in March. Because Pluto changes signs. That's big. Pluto moves into Aquarius. Not only, and that's at the end of March, but in the beginning of March, Saturn's going to move into Pisces. Saturn stays in a sign for 3 years. Saturn's been in Aquarius since 2020. It's getting ready to move into Pisces. Aquarius is getting ready to move into the sign that Saturn just left. So Pluto is going to accelerate a future timeline. Pluto is going to come through and tear down what Saturn was trying to crystallize as far as tradition. So in other words, if something was not built that is sustainable for the future, Pluto's going to come through and tear it down while it's in Aquarius. So a lot of the institutions that we have that's what's up, Cosmic Chlorophyll. I'm excited too. Because I've been fucking toiling. I'm excited for some motherfucking payoff. I'm excited. But there will be some calamity. But that does not mean that people will not prosper. Doesn't mean that. But guess what? You're going to see a lot of suffering coming from motherfuckers who've been scamming people, who've been running game, who've been capping, who have been lying, who have been living on illusion. At the same time, there will be an uncovering of people that have not been known. People who have been overlooked. People who have been discarded, disregarded, they will emerge. While some of the others who have been appearing a certain way will become the mulch. They will become fertilizer to feed the new growth. Two timelines. One will be evolutionary, one will be devolving. The things I'm talking about, I feel are supporting evolution. I'm talking about real shit. I'm talking about, look, getting with yourself, analyzing yourself. You get a download that you need to do certain things for your health, listen to it. Download say it's time to cleanse. Download say it's time for me to step up in this area, step it up. But we're moving into a new world. The world to come. Where is Kanye West? Notice how he's gone all of a sudden? I called it. I called it on Patreon. Y'all that's on Patreon, you know I called it. I told you. The shit was gone. It's gonna be gone. It's gone. Now I'm gonna tell you about Kanye. This is how this shit is so slick. What they call it, low magic. This is how this is so slick. For a minute, we were looking at this character as a somewhat Christ figure. Now he's gonna come back up. He's gonna resurface. But it's funny right now, he's gone. Then all of a sudden Jaguar Wright comes out. Man, I'm telling you, this shit's all theater. It's all theater. Charleston White, all theater. And so Kanye disappears. But while he was in all the stuff was on the forefront. And he's fighting against the man. And he's promoting this and that. And, his clothing lines. Anybody ever step back and look at those clothes Kanye designs and pushes? You ever looked at the models when they do those little shows and the models have this no emotion, this dystopian, and the clothes look like, go on Netflix and look up the show 3%, or go and look at any of these dystopian movies and look at the clothes that this fool is. And I don't know why everybody said, "Yo, he's such a genius." Kanye all right. He all right. I've never he's a trickster. He uses his Gemini energy in trickster fashion. But he's such a genius. Like, Stevie Wonder, a genius, And if we even gonna go with the whole thing of this era, hell, Organized Noise, those some geniuses, Jay Dilla, Kanye. But that's just my personal. I don't know everybody always, man. He's such a genius. He's a trickster. So he got everybody caping for him, He reading the script. For sure he reading the script. Or the script is reading him, been programmed into him. Either way, it ain't authentic, you know. Oh, come on. Stop it, MJ. If I was light skinned, I'd be blushing. I appreciate it. He said, as a Gemini, we do get ghosts. LOL. Yeah, yes. But I'm not gonna put you in the good brother. I ain't putting you in the same valley as same river as Kanye. Something different. The dystopian clothes, the shoes that are designed like the alien movies we've seen. Look, man, we being programmed and being pushed into a direction. You know, even the whole thing where we say, oh, it's just a simulation. This whole thing's a simulation. Like, I get it, but at the same token, I don't. Because I also feel like that's a part of conditioning. You know, when you see enough dismal life, you know, and especially like right now, we just talked about all these people checking out of here and this and that. And, you know, it can put you into a dystopian mindset. You know, kind of nihilist, just like, oh man, whatever. It's just, you know, it's all a simulation, which you can eventually just get to the point you say it's all a joke. I don't have to take nothing serious. It's all a game anyway. That's part of the condition, and I think it's a desired outcome as well. Because if that's the case, what's the point of me resisting anything? You know? So there's those of us kind of like the Generation X, I feel like we kind of let's see, said at Natural Market, y'all be arguing Kanye has to be right. So I can see it. I don't trust him. He's what I'm trying to do personally is some kind of way walk this line between two worlds. You know, I'm not about to throw away my mother and my grandmother, my father, their world. Same token, damn, I done missed the damn trash. Damn. Them motherfuckers. Hold on. Okay, no, I didn't. I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is walking that line between two worlds. I'm not throwing away that grit or that simplicity of their world. Because with all the knowledge we got, and I say this all the time, make no bones about it, we can't fuck with them as far as longevity. We got all this knowledge, but them baby boomers and them silent generation, people born in them 30s and them 20s, let me tell you something. They cut different. So I don't disregard them because they've survived way more than we could imagine. You know, we have not lived in a world where we make light of things like And here's another one where I tread the line, like this whole civil rights, because I see the disaster that came out of civil rights. But I also have talked to my parents about just it's so much easier to be on this side and analyze than it is to have lived in it and to be looking for something more promising, as far as to really be confronted with a sign that says you can't drink here. Like I went to Allen the other day to the bookstore, and the little girl was mixed, and the way she looked at me like I was a monster. Like, what do you think I'm gonna fucking do? Bite your throat? Like, look, I asked her to look at a book in the case, and she's like this. I'm like, who the fuck been talking to you? What do you think I'm gonna do to you? Chop your head off, dummy? You know, so that's subtle stuff. But we haven't had it just right in our face, like, Nick, go home, nigger. You know, we ain't had that just right in our face. So we gotta temper our wokeness on this side of like, yeah, we shouldn't have done it. But we do know, because I've talked to my mama because she lived in it. And she's on this side, and now we're analyzing about, now we got to go back and find stuff about roots, root working. You know, when her grandmother would go off into the woods and come back with a mustard pack and put on you, because they didn't have no HMO or PPO or whatever. They didn't have that to go to the doctor. You had to figure it out. My daddy's grandmother would go into the woods and come back with this and that. Now we're trying to recover that. I feel like the onus is on me. I got to explore all this stuff that we might have thought was taboo, like, you know, hoodoo and other things. You know, there's a thin line between being so-called an herbalist and a witch. What's the difference? What's the difference? See, so we've been given so many different labels and this and that. And now the people who, if they say they're a witch, they trying to figure out how to make this man love you. Like we're trying to recover the real essence of things. And that's what I mean by trying to, walking back. It's coming back strong. Okay, I know it's in your blood. Walk in those two worlds, healing, that's it. That's the word, healing. That's the presentation I'm gonna do about the family stuff. You're healing, talking to my cousin, and my cousin lived with my grandmother before she passed on my father's side. And she was adamant in 1977 when Roots came out. She said, that's a lie. She said, we didn't come over here like that. She said, our people were already here. So, and my other grandmother on my mama's side, before she passed, she asked me, do you think Miss Mary was an Indian? I said, why you say that, grandmama? She had, and don't y'all take this the wrong way, but this old school shit, she had that real pretty hair. And so we always wonder, what are we on this side? I think my mama's side is Gullah. For some reason, just in me, it's just in me. I don't have no proof. And I feel strongly that on my grandmother, my father's side, it's something, I don't know if it's Cherokee but it's something, it's not just the humdrum what we've been told. So I got all these things that I've got to explore in my life, because like I said, I'm not throwing away the old world. I ain't throwing it away, but we do know at the same time we are moving into a new world, a digitized world. We know. But I think those of us who can maintain some semblance of both, That's one of the keys. Oh shit. That's one of the keys. I'm trying to water this. There you go. Drink up. So now I'm just starting to ramble. But yeah, that's I think that's good enough for today. I wasn't intending to be on here for this long. Natural market, yes, we still pumping on Patreon. Like I said, if anybody else is interested, my Patreon is $5 a month. And what I really want to do with Patreon is I really just want to have live discussions where people can interact and talk. And I really am more interested in what you all are wanting to learn about. You know, it's just so much easier than I'm gonna put this together and put this out and here's this, and you know, it's because sometimes I don't know what I know until I have conversations with people. Like when I was younger, it's different. I don't know what it is. As I get older, it's more about I need somebody to pull it out of me. Like if I'm being interviewed, you know, oh yeah, I could pull it out easy. If I'm in a conversation or somebody makes a comment, it comes out. But just to sit there and just think, what do I want to tell these people? I don't know. It's becoming difficult for me. So yeah, I would like to maybe start doing like some Sunday discussions or whatever, you know, and it'll be recorded. And then y'all can just, whoever can't make it, you can just go back and review the recording. But Wise Feminine was one of our members. She did send me an email, and she wants to delve into, you know, book writing, and which is right up her alley because she's a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius deals with one of the things is publishing. And so, you know, it's funny how people energies seem to gather around when you know some astrology. Like, you know, we got Eric, who's a Gemini, and you know, he has a prowess for writing. So you got Gemini Sagittarius axis. So here's two people right there along that axis that both the axis deals with writing. Gemini's third house, writing, communication. Sagittarius, publication. You got these two people who show some interest in this. We have another Gemini in the group who's very active on social media. You know, she's on here, Natural Market. She's on Instagram. You can go check her out, follow her. So you have, it's like people, it's funny people who say this astrology is a joke. It's, you know, it's like, you don't have to believe in it for it to be real. You don't have to believe that gravity is real. But if you walk off your roof and think you're going to walk like a cartoon character and not fall to the ground, try it out. That's how astrology is. You don't have to believe in it. It is. Like a hammer upside your head is hard. You don't have to believe in the hammer, but it'll show you what it does if it hits you. So that's kind of and it's just funny how you see these things, you know, they play out. But yeah, so to all the Patreons, I want to go with that model. I like it a lot better. It's more organic. The crazy part is I hate social media. Well, you're doing a damn good acting job. Cause I wouldn't say I hate it. I got you. I own a brick and mortar. I got you. I think I told you this, and I think you all consider this too. I think, especially as a Gemini, you ought to consider, you know, some teaching. I am an actor. Consider some teaching modalities around what you do. Information. um, incorporate it in with the entertaining way you handle your social media. You know, maybe throw some of that in there. Show your side about the teaching aspect of you, which we know you have naturally. You're gonna have to misanthropic. I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to. What's misanthropic? Didn't hit me with a Doogie Howser word. Well, dear brother, I'm. Oh, magnetic. Okay, the other wordsmith had to save me there. Okay, magnetic. Okay. So that's gonna wrap it up. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not exactly a social butterfly myself, as I'm sure y'all have picked up on. But you know, we do what we got to do. You know, um, but you have some very unique, and I'm gonna have to get one of your candles. Um, but maybe we can do. You know, we'll talk. We figure out some stuff everybody can do and support each other. You know, and keep this thing moving. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm about to go and get to work. Bet. And you can find me on now on Instagram, 720 Astrology. You can find me. I got two Instagrams. I got 720 Astrology. I got the Gnosis Knows on Instagram. And you can also find me on my website, 720astrology.com. There you go. Wise Feminine in the house. Peace, good sister. I got your email. And we definitely gonna do a chat about putting a book together. How, just some simple steps to how to put it together. And so hey, about to get into the podcasting game. You know, I got me some. If y'all usually listen to the Think Music podcast, you probably remember my sound was trash on there. You know, I got my sound, got some good sound going now, good microphone, good mixer. So yeah, so some things coming. But as always, y'all stay down till you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Peace.